All right. So just come in to a comfortable seated position, however this might be for you this evening. Sorry, a leg down position. This is how it's going to go tonight. We're laying down. We're just going to go to sleep. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So come into a laying down position. I will come and lay down and join you in a moment. We are going to tonight do a session involving the new moon because we are practicing on a new moon this evening. And we are going to be looking a little bit at our pelvic floors, and we are going to be looking a little bit at our core and everything that's kind of involved in this area. And we're going to finish with a really lovely end new moon meditation. Okay. So come into a laid back position. I'm going to stay set up just for a moment whilst Luna is nice and calm. I know the minute I lay down, she will be on my face. Just closing your eyes. Maybe just have a little bit of a wiggle around. And just start to bring your awareness to yourself. Start to bring some awareness to your body. And just starting to notice if there's any areas of the body that just feel particularly maybe tired, maybe achy, maybe just a bit there. That's the best word I can describe. And sometimes around the time of the new moon, we can sometimes feel a little bit like this. The full moon, the new moon, everything's a bit heightened. And sometimes energy levels can be quite low. Just taking a moment to notice how you are doing this evening. You might be completely the opposite. You might be full of energy, buzzing and raring to go. But I just want you to take notice of how you are feeling, how your body's feeling. If it's comfy to have your legs bent, have your legs bent. Just begin to notice your surroundings. With your eyes still closed, just picturing the room that you are practicing within. Maybe just beginning to notice any sounds. And then beginning to bring your awareness to your breath. And just notice at the moment where your breath is flowing down into the body. Is it breathing down into the chest? Maybe it's breathing down into the tummy. And just take a little note of where it is that your breath is flowing to. And generally, if you are breathing into your chest, perhaps you might be a little bit stressed, maybe a little bit anxious. In yoga, we tend to try and breathe down into our tummies to really help to activate the nervous system, allowing our bodies to release and let go. Just take a little moment to do a 3-part breath, just to bring some awareness to our breath, because we'll need this in a moment. For the next inhale, I want you to breathe down just into the chest, so quite a shallow breath. And then just release. And again, we'll just breathe down into the chest. And just release. And this time, I want you to place your hands down onto the rib cage. Okay, so just in the middle, right at the bottom of the ribs, almost kind of like the pushy, you can push it in and out kind of area. You might want to place your hands onto your ribs, and I want you to breathe down into your chest and then expand into your ribs as well. A bit of a longer, deeper breath. Your next inhale. And release. And again, down into the chest, down, expanding into the ribs. And release. This time, I want you to breathe into the chest, expand into the ribs, and then see if you can keep going, expand into the tummy. On your next inhale, inhale into the chest, going into the ribs, and keep going, feeling the tummy up, expanding. Imagine you've got a nice balloon in your tummy. And release. We'll do that again. Inhale into the chest, into the ribs, and into the tummy. And release. We're going to try and reverse this now on the exhale. So continue to breathe into the chest, into the ribs, into the tummy. I want you to decrease the tummy, to pull the air out of the tummy, out of the ribs, and out of the chest. Filling up into the chest, into the ribs, into the tummy. Exhaling from the tummy, from the ribs, from the chest. And I want you just to continue to do this. Bring your awareness, almost say it in your head, chest, ribs, tummy, tummy, ribs, chest. You're really expanding, and then you're pushing it all the way out. Just take a few moments just to really bring your focus to your breath. You can exhale through the mouth or through the nose, doesn't matter. Keep it going. I'm just going to try and lay myself down now, here for the dog. Taking one more of those 3-part breaths. And then just going back to a normal breath now. Just standard normal breath without even thinking. Okay, so now we're going to work into the pelvic floor by using our breath. The reason being, a few of you already have practiced this with me before. When we use our ribs to breathe, we're working the diaphragm. The diaphragm sits in between the ribs. It lowers when you inhale, and then it rises when you exhale. Attached to your diaphragm are two muscles which run down the abs into the pelvic floor for both males and females. When you inhale, the diaphragm releases, the psoas muscles release, the pelvic floor releases. As you exhale, the psoas muscles get pulled up by the diaphragm, the pelvic floor squeezes as well. Okay, so we're going to have a workout using our ribs, using our diaphragm. We're also going to work the psoas muscle. And the psoas muscle in yoga is where we hold a lot of our emotions as well. So by working the psoas muscle, it's really effective in that sense as well, which is really good on a new moon. So we did our 3-part breathing. We did our chest, our ribs, our tummy. We want to forget the tummy part now, okay? We are just going to be breathing from our chest into our ribs. But what I want you to do is place your hands onto your rib cage, so it's at the sides. And as you inhale, I want you to imagine expanding, pushing that rib cage lovely and open out to the sides. Okay. So take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale. Maybe through the mouth, just get a nice deep breath. And then inhale through the nose, expanding into the ribs. And exhale. And again, inhale. And we're going to exhale. Again, inhale into the ribs. And we're going to exhale. And this time, it's a little bit to think about. As we inhale now, I want you just to try and release the tummy muscles, release the pelvic floor. As we exhale, consciously squeeze that tummy in, feel that lower core start to engage. Pull up the pelvic floor. Okay, so taking an inhale, expand into the chest, releasing the tummy, the pelvic floor. As we exhale, squeezing into the tummy, lift up through the pelvic floor. Just continue. It's really trying to create this mind-body connection. And also quite a good meditation because you can't really think about much else. Lovely. We're going to take our hands up above our chests and we're going to place our palms facing up towards the ceiling. Our elbows are facing outwards. Okay. I want you to imagine that you're holding maybe like a ball or something on the hands. Okay, so imagine just keeping those hands lovely and solid. The elbows are pointing out. And we're going to do exactly the same breath. We're going to inhale, expanding through the chest. We're going to exhale, releasing all the way out. Squeezing in that tummy, squeezing in that pelvic floor. Inhale as we release. Exhale. Squeezing into that tummy, into that pelvic floor. Inhale to release. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. I want you to take your hands in the same position above your head. Okay. You can rest your hands back on the floor, but I want you to have a slight bend in the elbows. And again, keeping those palms nice and flat. Imagine you're holding something above your head now. And again, we're going to do the same breath. So we're going to take an inhale into the ribs. Really hard not to go into your tummy here. So really opening the ribs. Exhale all the way out. Squeeze into the tummy, squeeze into the pelvic floor. Another inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Let's take our hands just down by our sides. We're going to attempt, well, I'm going to attempt to not flatten the dog whilst I do this. We're going to attempt to come up into a bridge pose. Okay, so the knees are bent, feet are flat to the floor, hands can be flat to the floor. Again, we're going to be working with our breath. So it seems as we've just learned that on an exhale, the pelvic floor automatically engages. We're going to come up on the exhale. Let's take an inhale at the bottom. As we exhale, start to curl up through the spine, pushing into the heels, squeezing into the bottom, lifting all the way up as far as you can. As you next inhale, roll it down. Imagine each vertebrae coming down at a time. Okay, let's take an inhale again at the bottom. Exhale. Really nice control. Not a quick movement. You take it nice and controlled. Inhale to release. Let's do that 5 more times at your own pace. Exhaling as you lift up. Inhale as you release. And again, exhale as you come up. Inhale as you release. The last 2. And last 1. Hugging the knees in towards the tummy. Taking a little rock from side to side. And then release the feet back down. Okay, we're going to come back to that bridge pose again. We're going to have the hands in this position. The reason why we're having our hands in this very odd position is we're working fascia. So I know I've spoken about this before, but fascial bonds in the body help link, help to join everything together, help to create that mind-body connection. So we're going to engage through the upper body fascia. Okay, which then intensifies and makes it a little bit harder to breathe into the ribs. That really helps to work the diaphragm, which then in theory helps the psoas muscles, the pelvic floor. So resting whatever you're going to hold on top of your hands, bending through those elbows. We're going to take an inhale into the ribs. Exhale as we roll up, squeezing into that pelvic floor, squeezing into that tummy. We're going to inhale, we're going to take it back down. We're going to exhale all the way up. We're going to inhale all the way down. And again, exhaling up. Inhaling down. Move the arms now above the head in that bent position again. We're going to do exactly the same. So take an inhale at the bottom. Exhale all the way up. Inhale, releasing down. And again, exhale up. Inhaling back down. Last time, exhaling out. Inhale, release back down. Releasing those hands, hugging those knees in towards the body, and taking the legs for a nice little circle now. And back round in the other direction. So taking the hands out to the sides. We're going to come into a twist. You can keep your legs off the floor, or you can take them down. Just going to move out the way slightly. Taking a nice deep breath in, picking a side that you're going to go to, taking the legs over to that side. We're taking the head the opposite way to the legs. Nice deep breath into the ribs here, helping to release through the ribs. So coming back to center. And coming over to the other side. Again, head can just go the opposite direction to where the legs are facing. And just coming back to center. Let's roll over to your favorite side. Just pausing for a moment before making your way up to seated. Just coming to a comfortable seated position, taking the hands to the knees. We're going to start to loosen up around that lower back. Just circling around. Making the circle as big or as small as you like. Taking it back round in the other direction now. Lovely. Coming back to center. Placing your hand down to one side. Taking an inhale, reaching up and all the way over. And a lovely deep breath into the ribs here, helping to release through the ribs. And sometimes our ribs can be quite tight, which makes it quite difficult to breathe into the ribs, especially if we're used to shallow breathing. Lovely, one more breath. Let's take it over to the other side. Coming back to center. Let's take a reach forward, opening up through the back. You can round your back, maybe coming up onto the fingertips. You can really get into the shoulders, tucking the chin in towards the chest. And then lifting those arms all the way up towards the ceiling as you lift up those arms backwards. Take the arms behind. And just have a lovely stretch back. Lift the chin, open up. And just coming back to center. Let's take one hand over to the opposite knee. The other hand will come behind. Let's come into a twist. So just go gently as we just began. Just dropping the back shoulder down. Take a nice deep breath and lengthen through the head. Imagine it being lifted up nice and tall. As your next exhale, twist around a little bit more. And that's your twist. Breathe into your twist. Coming back to center. Let's come to the other side. So taking the other hand to the opposite knee. Other hand comes around to the back. Just begin with your twist. Lengthen through the spine. Take a little bit more of a twist on your next exhale. And then pause in there. Breathing into the spine, into the ribs. Coming back to center. So now I want you to come into a comfortable seated position. So this could be legs crossed or this could be legs out. It doesn't matter. The main thing I want you to focus on is your back. So if I come and sit at the side, automatically when I sit cross-legged, I kind of lean forward slightly. Okay, and that's completely normal. That's just how we kind of just adapt, and that's how we find it comfortable to sit. In theory, we should be sitting up nice and tall. Okay, so you can see if I was to sit against a wall, my back would be nice and flat. Looks like Luna is modelling this as well. So what I want you to do, you might want to go side on your camera. I want you to really focus in on sitting up nice and tall. You can even, if you've got a wall behind you, you could actually sit yourself against the wall, as long as you're not, sloping back into the wall and you're sitting up nice and tall and using that as like your guide, you can sit up against the wall. Okay. So this is really key in this position. So when I was talking about the fascia in the body, working with the pelvic floor, working with the core, that is exactly, we want to be really switching on the whole body this evening. Okay. So we are going to do a little bit more breathing with our hands, with our arms, with our backs nice and straight. Okay, it's going to work the whole body. So whichever position you're in, backs are nice and flat. Chin is tucked in to keep the neck in line as well. You'll notice it feels quite strong already if you're sitting up nice and tall. Okay. I want you to then place your hands again. It's all about the palms. I want you to place your hands on your upper thighs. It's almost like this. Drop the shoulders down. Push the elbows out. Push the hands into the thighs. Already, I can feel the core switching on here. Okay. We're going to pop that lateral rib breathing into this position. There's so much to think about, I know. Okay, but it'll all be worth it. We want to inhale into our ribs, exhale, release, just exactly like this. All right, so we're going to take a nice deep inhale into the rib cage. And we're going to exhale. We're going to inhale. And we're going to exhale. We're going to inhale again. And we're going to exhale. Lovely. We're then going to take our hands, like we did when we were sat down and we imagined something was sitting on top of our hands. We're going to imagine pushing something away from us now. Okay, a really lovely strong arms. Imagine pushing, someone's there, you're pushing them away, keeping them away from you. We're going to be here and we're going to do exactly the same breath. And this time, as we exhale, I want you to imagine squeezing that core in, squeezing up. Okay, so take a nice inhale into the ribs. Let's exhale, squeeze into the core. And again, inhale. And we're going to exhale. One more time, inhale. And we're going to exhale. Lovely. Now this time, I want you to place your arms up towards the ceiling. We're pushing something up. Your arms are going to probably start to ache a little bit. We're going to do exactly the same. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Try to get the shoulders down. Exhale. One last breath. Inhale. And exhale. Release those arms all the way down and behind. Have a lovely stretch behind. Maybe look up towards the ceiling. And then just bring the shoulders into a lovely roll. Super, well done. Okay. Let's come over onto all fours now. I'm going to try and do this over Luna. Your hands will go. Coming over onto all fours. Taking some comfort underneath the knees if you need to. We're going to come into our cat cow, so just loosening off the upper back. So inhale, taking a gaze up. Exhale, chin tucks in, arching the spine. Keep this going, inhaling, exhaling. Just really noticing the movement of the spine. If you can hear, start to squeeze in the core, squeeze in the pelvic floor as you exhale, arching up. And naturally inhale as you just release. Coming back to center. We're going to come into our thread the needles and moving version. So we're going to take an inhale up with one arm, lifting all the way up. Stay lifted. We're just going to reach under the other arm. But we're going to keep it flowing. So we're inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling as we lower. One more time. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling through. Coming back to center, other side. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, through. Coming back to center, let's come into a downward dog. Spreading the fingers into the mat, tucking the toes under, lifting up into your downward dog. Taking a lovely little pedal out of those heels. Putting into those hands. Release the knees back down to the mat, coming back into a child's pose. Breathing into the back, maybe having a little wiggle into the hips. Walking his hands up. Taking an inhale, reaching his arms all the way up, all the way back. Hands to the lower back, taking a lovely stretch. Squeezing those elbows towards one another, lifting up through the chin. And releasing back there. You're going to come back down to the mat now. We're going to come back onto our backs. If it's available to you, not to me, you can stretch your legs out. We're going to take a full body stretch, just stretching up through those arms, stretching out of those feet. Having a lovely full body stretch. We're going to take it over to one side now. So taking it over to one side. Again, getting a lovely long stretch across one rib. Breathing into the ribs. Over to the other side. And coming back to center. Let's hug one knee in towards the tummy. You can have your leg bent like me, or you can have it straight out. It doesn't matter. Hugging that knee in towards the tummy. And we're going to extend the leg up. Just rest your hand either behind, or you can hold on to a trouser leg. It doesn't matter. Or if you've got a strap, you can place it over the toes and pull the toes back if you wish to. We're going to then place that leg over the top of the other knee. So do bend that knee up now. Reclined pigeon pose. Either keeping the leg here, or the foot that's on the floor, you can lift it up towards the body. Maybe in place, the hands behind, or just holding on to, again, the trousers or a strap. Breathe into the stretch, can be quite strong, into the glutes, into the sides of the thigh. Try and keep the shoulders back onto the mat. So we're going to come into a twist for the lower back here. It's quite strong. You can either place this foot back down or you can have it lifted. Whichever foot is up across the leg, we're going to bring ourselves over the side. Our foot can go down towards the floor. Placing the hands onto the mat. You can have them out to the sides to give you a bit of support. You're going to aim that foot over as far as you can go, furniture dependent, over to the side. And again, just turning your head in the opposite direction. I think it's a nice deep breath, really good one for the hips and the lower back, this one. And then just easing back to center. Hugging both knees in. Maybe just having a little rock. And then this time, hugging the other leg into the body. Extending the leg up into the air. And then taking that foot across the other knee, either holding it there, or you can lift the other leg off of the floor. Settle into whichever position you wish to. And just breathe in into the muscles that are potentially getting a little bit cross. Coming into our twist now. The hands coming out to the side. This top foot, we're going to aim towards wherever the foot is facing. Taking a nice deep breath in as we exhale with lovely control. Taking the hips over to that side. Turning the head in the other direction. And then breathing into the body. And then just coming back to center. Just releasing the leg down. Just having the hands out to the sides. And just have them resting down by the sides of the body. Have your knees bent if you wish to, or you can have your legs straight. And close our eyes now. I want to focus back in on just your normal, steady, easy breath. Just taking a moment to notice how this breath feels, whether the inhale is longer, perhaps the exhale is longer. And just seeing now if you can increase the exhale in length. We're going to come into our new moon meditation in a moment. So just getting yourselves into a lovely comfortable positions, as whether this means putting a blanket on, whether this means turning the lights down. I'll give you a moment just to get yourselves lovely and comfortable. Just begin to close your eyes when you're ready. Just bringing your awareness to your breath. Just relaxing all the muscles, the face and the head. Softening the forehead. Releasing down through the cheeks, the jaw, through the lips and through the teeth. Relaxing down into the neck, softening the shoulders, arms, relaxing down the hands, fingers, relaxing down to the spine, softening through the tummy, down into the hips, relaxing down the legs, knees, relaxing down into the shins, ankles, the feet, and just bring the awareness back to your breath. Noticing that gentle rise and fall of the chest. And just begin to notice where your breath travels to within your body. I'm just trying to direct your breath now down into the belly. Breathing with our full lungs, expanding into the belly. Just really noticing so we're able to begin to look inward to your inner space of peace, calm, silence and stillness. Just visualize yourself now seated beneath an open, starry night sky. As you see yourself gaze up, you begin to notice all the beautiful stars, how bright they shine compared to the new moon, translucent and hidden on this evening. The stars, they twinkle and glisten above you. There's one star in particular outshining the rest, sending beacons of starlight across the sky towards you. Envision this bright starlight emerging out from your heart center. And gradually it grows bigger, offering this bright light to the world around you. And at the same time, notice a bright light pouring in from the top of your head, from above, in through the crown of your head. As you breathe in, feel the starlight pouring in your crown. As you breathe out, feel the starlight shining outward from your heart. Breathing in, the light flows into you. Breathing out, the light radiates outwards. Breathing in and breathing out. Just feeling this light within you, the spark of life that's always within you. Find the spark, your life force, your personal energy, your buzz. Responsible for all you do and who you are. And feel the stillness of this energy within you. Still, but so alive, so present, so vibrant. Your inner current, your personal frequency. So much that you can give. And on this new moon, it's the best time to connect to this energy. To understand what your personal, deepest and truest desires are. Think about the things you would like to bring into your life. Manifest in your life. Your passions. Think about something you would like to bring about. Take a moment just to speak these intentions to yourself in your mind now. Just begin to feel these words projecting outwards. Why do you want this to be a part of your life? Why do you want your life to be this way? What emotions will this bring about in you? And how will it make you feel? And try now and let that emotion, that feeling encompass you completely and entirely. Feel that feeling, feel that emotion radiating through you, and begin to emit that frequency, that energy outwards. In your mind now, begin to think of your intention and just seeing if you can put an affirmation with this intention. Affirmations tend to be in the present tense. And it could be something as simple as, I am free, or I am strong, I am wealthy. Whatever your intention may be, see if you can now put it in an affirmation in the present tense. And just repeat this to yourself. Just feel this affirmation, feel what you're saying. Start to bring your awareness back to your breath once again. On this new moon, just feeling more positive, manifesting towards your intention. Just knowing what your intention is. Start to make some small movements into the body. Maybe a gentle wriggling of the fingers. Maybe a wriggling out of the toes. Maybe a lovely stretch overhead with a big yawn. Or maybe you wish just to continue to lie there. If you do wish to continue to lie, you just lie for as long as you need to. And if you wish to rise up seated, just rolling over to one side, just keeping your eyes lovely and closed. And just begin to rub your hands together. Continuing to breathe lovely and deeply, calmly. Placing the palms over the tops of the eyes. Just begin to flutter the eyes open behind the hands. When you're ready to, just taking a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, just meeting those hands together, drawing the hands down to heart center. Thank you, everybody. Well done. Well done.